Did the Philadelphia Eagles just pull off the most ruthless heist in NFL history? Or has the front office completely lost its mind by shipping away a perennial Pro Bowler? Everyone is talking about the massive blockbuster deal involving A.J. Brown, and honestly, the implications are absolutely insane. We're talking about a move that fundamentally shifts the power balance of the league, and I'm going to break down exactly why this might go down as a legendary masterclass or a disastrous betrayal of the team's championship window. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest NFL updates on the planet. Let's get straight into the numbers because this is where things get spicy. We're looking at a deal that has fans completely divided. The Philadelphia Eagles sent A.J. Brown packing to the New England Patriots, and in exchange, they secured a 2028 first-round draft pick and an additional fifth-round selection for the 2027 draft. Now, look at the timeline here. Trading for a future first-round pick is a massive gamble, but it's also a statement. It tells the entire league that the Eagles are looking at the long game, even if it means sacrificing an elite talent right now. When you compare this to the original deal back in 2022, where the Eagles basically fleeced the Tennessee Titans to land Brown in the first place, you start to see the genius or the madness of Howie Roseman's strategy. Think about the context. Back in 2022, Brown came to Philadelphia and immediately formed one of the most terrifying wide receiver duos in NFL history alongside Devonta Smith. They didn't just play, they dominated. They turned a stagnant offense into a high-octane machine that steamrolled through the NFC. But now, that era is officially over. The question everyone is asking is, did the Eagles sell high at the perfect moment, or did they just gift-wrap an elite weapon to a hungry New England squad? Who do you think actually walked away the winner? Drop a name in the comments below. Is this actually a highway robbery, or is it just smart business? To understand why people are using that term, you have to look at how these negotiations actually went down. Word around the league is that New England general manager Elliott Wolf was practically desperate to get this deal finished. We've known for years that the Patriots have been hunting for a true WR1, and the connection between A.J. Brown and the New England organization has been one of the NFL's worst-kept secrets. But here is the kicker. Reports indicate the Patriots didn't even want to give up a first-round pick. They had a second-round grade on him. So, why did they end up handing over a first? Because the front office in Philadelphia played an absolute masterclass in leverage. They made it clear they were in no hurry. They could wait until the preseason, wait for a team to get desperate due to injury, or just hold on to him into the season. By playing that waiting game, they squeezed the Patriots until they folded. It was a high-stakes poker game where the Eagles bluffed their way into a massive return. But wait until you hear the dark reality regarding the medical concerns that almost killed this deal entirely. This is where the narrative shifts from a simple trade to a calculated exit strategy. Why were the Los Angeles Rams, who were initially interested, nowhere to be found when the dust settled? Because they saw the medicals and ran for the hills. The truth about A.J. Brown's knee is now out in the open, and it is a massive concern. We're talking about a degenerative condition. For a receiver who relies on pure physical dominance, speed, and sharp cuts, a degenerative knee is essentially a ticking time bomb. You can look at the stats yourself. It's not just a feeling, it's a measurable decline. If you look at the next-gen stats over the last 3 seasons, you can see his burst and his top-end speed are slowly but surely trending downward. In 2023, he was hitting elite speed markers at a high frequency. By 2025, that percentage dropped significantly. Is it just a lack of effort on some plays, or is his body simply not capable of doing what it used to do?
It's caught at the 30 by Devonta Smith.
It
really dictates the defense.
They're gambling that his experience and route running can overcome the physical erosion of his joints. The Eagles, meanwhile, seem to have looked at the medical reports, looked at the contract, and decided it was time to cash out before his value cratered. It's a cold, calculated move. It's not about the player. It's about the asset life cycle. When we talk about his time in Philadelphia, we have to be honest. The man was a force of nature. From a moment he stepped onto the field in 2022, he changed the identity of the offense. He was a 3-time All-Pro, He eclipsed 1,000 yards in every single season he played there, an accomplishment no other receiver in the history of that franchise has ever pulled off. He gave the city some of the most electric moments of the last decade. But the end of his tenure was plagued by visible frustration. We saw the sulking on the sidelines, the dropped passes, and the lack of engagement that seemed to infect the entire locker room during the final season. When a player who is paid top-tier money starts to look like he has mentally checked out, it ruins the chemistry of the entire squad. Perhaps the Eagles realized that holding on to him was becoming a net negative, even if his talent was still undeniable. It's a classic case of a team choosing the future over the immediate, messy present. Why would New England take on a player with a degenerative knee for a first-round pick? Because they were at a breaking point. The optics of the organization have been abysmal, and the fan base was losing its mind. They needed a win. They needed a guy who brings instant credibility to a struggling offense. By bringing in a talent like Brown, they're trying to provide a safety net for their young quarterback. It's a go-for-it move designed to stop the bleeding and restore faith in the front office. But if those knees give out, this trade will be remembered as one of the biggest disasters in their history. The pressure on the coaching staff to manage his workload is going to be immense. If they overwork him, he'll break down. If they underwork him, the contract becomes an anchor around their neck. Ultimately, this move highlights the massive divide in how modern NFL teams operate. There is this sentimental way, keeping your stars, honoring their past contributions, and try to win with the guys you've got. Then there is the Roseman way, treating the roster like a volatile stock market. You buy low, you sell high, and you never, ever get emotionally attached to a contract. Fans often hate these moves because they want stability. They want to buy a jersey and know that player will be there for 5 years. But the NFL doesn't work like that anymore. The salary cap is too tight, the injury risks are too high, and the window to win is too short. By getting a first-round pick for a 29-year-old receiver with a degenerative knee, the Eagles have essentially cleared the decks. They have freed up massive amounts of cap space and gained future assets that they can use to retool the roster on the fly. It's ruthless. It's clinical. And if it pays off, it will be hailed as the smartest move of the decade. But if the Eagles struggle to replace his production in the red zone or on deep routes, the fans are going to turn on this front office very, very quickly. We are heading into a season that is going to look completely different for both of these organizations. The Eagles are going to have to find a new identity on offense, one that might rely more on tight ends or a committee of receivers rather than one singular focal point. And the Patriots, they're going to be the most watched team in the league. Everyone is going to be tracking every single snap, every sprint, and every post-game report on how that knee is holding up. One thing is for certain. The landscape of the NFL just changed. We've gone from a league where stars stayed put to a league where trades like this are becoming the norm. The speed of information, the desire for instant results, and the cold reality of injury management have turned the NFL into a high-stakes, high-pressure environment where nobody is truly safe. But I want to hear from you. Do you think the medical concerns were enough to justify letting a player of his caliber walk? Or did they undervalue the impact he brings to the field regardless of his health? Drop your hot takes, your predictions, and your frustrations in the comment section. Let's see who can actually read the game better than the front offices. The clock is ticking on both these teams. In a few months, we will know for sure if the gamble paid off. Until then, we'll be right here watching every snap. Keep your eyes on the field because if this offseason has taught us anything, it's that the next big blockbuster is always just around the corner. We aren't going anywhere, so make sure you stay locked in for all the developments as we move closer to the start of the season. This is the kind of drama that makes the NFL the greatest show on earth. From the boardroom negotiations to the brutal reality of physical decline, it's all part of the game. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Stay tuned, because the fallout from this move is only just beginning. There are more layers to this story, more secrets about how these front offices communicate, and more fallout for the locker rooms involved. We're going to cover it all. Are the Eagles setting up for a massive rebuild? Or are they just shifting pieces to make room for another big splash? We're going to dig into the salary cap implications and the potential draft targets for those upcoming picks in our next session. You won't want to miss the deep dive on what this means for the team's long-term salary structure. So, again, if you want the truth behind the headlines, the analysis that cuts through the noise, and the updates that arrive before anyone else, make sure you are subscribed. Join the conversation, keep those comments coming, and let's keep the energy high as we gear up for what promises to be a wild season. We'll see you in the next one.